The morning sun spilled golden light over Colony Prime, casting long shadows across the modular buildings and landing pads. Lyra awoke slowly, stretching her small alien limbs. She blinked at the unfamiliar ceiling of the colony's dormitory, her large black eyes reflecting both fear and curiosity. Everything was strange. The smell of the synthetic floor, the soft hum of the ventilation, the distant chatter of humans preparing for the day. Dr. Elias entered quietly, carrying a tray with breakfast. Lyra watched him, tilting her head as she tried to understand the ritual. Humans always ate at specific times using utensils, and drank liquids she had never seen before. The smell was unfamiliar but oddly comforting. "Good morning, Lyra," Elias said softly. "Time to eat." She hesitated, then mimicked his movements, picking up the food with her hands. Her gestures were careful, precise, and instinctively gentle. She tasted the food and blinked. The flavor was new, sweet in a way she hadn't known before. She looked up at Elias and he smiled. It was progress, a tiny step into the world of humans. Life in the colony was not easy for Lyra. She had to adapt to human rules, schedules, and social customs. Other children stared at her shimmering skin and glowing markings. Some whispered, pointing fingers. Others kept their distance. Humans were inherently curious, but curiosity often turned to suspicion. Lyra tried to communicate. She drew symbols in the sand, pointed to objects, and mimicked human gestures. Slowly, a young teacher, Mara, began to understand her. Through patient observation, they developed a rudimentary system. Lyra would point and draw, and Mara would translate. It was slow, frustrating at times, but it allowed Lyra to begin learning human language. Despite this progress, Lyra felt the weight of loneliness. She missed her home planet, even though fragments of her memories were faint and dreamlike. She longed for family, for warmth, for someone to call her own. Yet here, in this new world, she had only Elias and a handful of cautious humans willing to engage with her. One afternoon, while exploring the colony's engineering bay, Lyra noticed a broken hover cart. The young engineer, Joran, was struggling with its controls, frustrated and muttering under his breath. Without thinking, Lyra reached out, her hands glowing faintly as she touched the damaged machinery. Energy flowed through her touch, subtle but potent. The machinery hummed, the broken circuits realigning themselves under her guidance. Joran stepped back, eyes wide. "What? How did you—" he stammered. Lyra merely tilted her head, gesturing toward the machine as if it had fixed itself. Word of her abilities spread quickly. Some humans were amazed, calling her a miracle. Others were cautious, fearful of what they didn't understand. Elias, however, saw the truth. Lyra was extraordinary, yes, but she was still a child. She had abilities, but she also had needs, emotions, and fears. Protecting her required more than admiration. It required compassion. One evening, Lyra sat on the observation deck, staring at the twin moons that hung above the colony like silent guardians. Elias joined her, carrying a small notebook. "You've done well today," he said gently. "You helped the engineers, and you even taught some of the other children patience." Lyra tilted her head, drawing a simple figure holding a smaller figure's hand, hers, reaching for him. Elias nodded, understanding. "You want—" "Family," he said. She blinked, then traced the outline of a heart in the air. Elias felt a lump in his throat. "I promise, Lyra," he whispered. "I will do everything I can to make sure you belong." But belonging was not something the colony could grant easily. Lyra was not human. Legally, she had no rights, no protection under human law. Administrators debated her status endlessly. Sending her to an interstellar research facility would separate her from Elias, placing her in a cold scientific environment that would strip away any chance of a normal life. Elias refused. "I cannot let them take her," he told the council. "She is a child. She is alone. Humanity is strongest when we protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is who we are." The council remained skeptical. They feared political repercussions, alien retaliation, and potential dangers. But Elias persisted. He argued tirelessly, citing examples of human history, showing how compassion had saved colonies, lives, and civilizations. Slowly, a few council members began to understand. They had never seen anyone fight so fiercely for a child who was not their own species. Meanwhile, Lyra's education continued. She learned human words, numbers, and customs. She struggled with pronunciation, often mixing alien sounds with human language. But she was quick to understand concepts, intuitive in ways humans were not. Her small victories brought smiles to the faces of teachers and children alike. Despite this, there were setbacks. One day, she wandered into a restricted lab, curious about the equipment. An alarm blared. Security rushed in, tense and suspicious. Lyra froze, terrified. Elias arrived moments later, calming everyone. "She is learning," he said firmly. "She does not know the rules yet. Punishment is not the answer. Guidance is." Lyra looked up at him, gratitude shining in her alien eyes. She understood trust in ways the humans around her did not. She had already begun to see Elias as her protector, her father in every sense that mattered, even if the law had yet to acknowledge it. The colony faced challenges as well. Resources were limited, and maintaining the delicate balance of human-alien relations required careful diplomacy. Lyra's presence complicated things. Some colonists feared she might be dangerous. Others envied the attention she received from Elias. Yet her actions, small gestures of kindness and moments of heroism, began to change perceptions. One afternoon, a child named Mara, frightened by a malfunctioning power generator, hid in the corner of the hall. Lyra approached, softly humming a tune that seemed to vibrate with life itself. The hum calmed Mara, easing her fear. The colony began to notice. This alien child, so different and fragile, had the ability to inspire hope, courage, and cooperation. Elias watched quietly, pride swelling in his chest. Humanity, he thought, was not defined by strength or technology alone. It was defined by the choice to act with kindness, courage, and responsibility. Lyra was teaching them that lesson, even as she learned the ways of human life. As night fell, the colony lights glimmered softly. Lyra sat beside Elias once more, leaning against him with trust and vulnerability. She pointed to the twin moons, then to Elias, then to herself. It was clear. She wanted to belong, to be part of a family, to have a life where she was loved and protected. Elias held her close, whispering promises into the quiet night. "We will find a way, Lyra. You will have a place here. You will have a home. Humanity will not fail you." Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, a reminder of the vast universe beyond Colony Prime. Yet in this small pocket of humanity, Lyra found hope. She was a child of another world, but humans had shown her that compassion, understanding, and courage could create bonds stronger than any law or language. In the days that followed, the colony slowly adapted to her presence. Children learned to play with her, sharing games and stories. Engineers sought her help, amazed by her insight. Teachers marveled at her curiosity and intelligence. And Elias continued his tireless work, navigating bureaucracy, advocating for her legal recognition, and building the foundations of a true father-daughter bond. Despite the challenges, Lyra began to smile more often. She laughed, a sound soft and musical echoing through the corridors. She began to understand the concept of family in small ways. Shared meals, gentle guidance, laughter, and care. Though the world had taken everything from her, the home, the family, the planet, she had found fragments of hope, pieces of belonging, and the promise of something more. And as she lay on the observation deck one evening, watching the twin moons rise again, she felt something she had not felt in a long time. Safety, trust, love. The first small seeds of what it truly meant to be. The twin suns rose slowly over the jagged mountains of Varian 5, casting long violet shadows across the sprawling city of Thalcor. The city looked like it was carved from black crystal, its towers twisting toward the sky. Every surface shimmered in the early light, reflecting the strange purple glow of the planet's twin suns. Alishan, a human engineer from Earth, moved carefully through the crowded marketplace. His boots clicked against the smooth black stones as he observed the tall, thin, and delicate-skinned Varians around him. Their translucent skin showed the faint glow of their veins, and their long limbs moved with grace. Humans looked clumsy here, but Alishan had learned to move carefully, not to draw too much attention. He had been on Varian 5 for several months. Officially, he was part of an interstellar trade mission, but his engineering skills and unique human creativity had made him valuable. Unlike the Varians, who admired strength, agility, and perfection, Alishan believed that compassion and cleverness could solve almost any problem. As he walked through the bustling streets, he noticed a small crowd of children playing. They darted through the air on hover pads, laughing and spinning with joy. But in the corner of the marketplace, a small figure sat alone. It was a child, thin, fragile, with trembling legs. He was trying to stand but kept falling. His name was Reelan. Most Varian children avoided him because he was weak. On Varian 5, weakness was shameful. The strongest were celebrated, and the weak were often hidden from public view. Ryland's parents tried to keep him at home, but he had snuck out today, hoping to see the world beyond the walls of his home. Alishan knelt beside him. "Hello," he said softly. "What's your name?" Ryland looked up, eyes wide and frightened. Ryland," he whispered. "You're having trouble walking, aren't you?" Alishan asked gently. The boy nodded, tears forming in his eyes. I fall all the time. I can't run like the others." Alishan's heart sank. He thought of the children he knew on Earth who had disabilities and how technology could help them. He had brought some of his tools and materials, hoping to use them for projects, but nothing yet had been needed like this. "I can help you," Alishan said firmly. Reelan blinked, uncertain. You can?" "I think so," Alishan said. "I can make something that will help you stand and maybe even run." The boy's face lit up with a spark of hope. "Really?" he asked, voice trembling. "Yes, but you will have to try," Alishan said with a smile. "You don't have to be strong. You only have to move one step at a time." Alishan led Ryland to a quiet corner of the marketplace. There, scraps of metal, wires, and tools were scattered on a small table he had brought. Over the past months, he had collected parts from Earth and from local suppliers. Small motors, light alloys, flexible materials. He had enough to build something unusual. He measured Ryland's legs carefully, watching how he tried to balance himself. He made small sketches in the dirt with a stick, drawing shapes and lines that only he could understand. Slowly, he began assembling the device. Nearby Varians watched silently. Some whispered among themselves disapprovingly. "Humans do not understand our ways," said one merchant. "Children like him are weak. He should stay hidden." Alishan ignored them. "Strength isn't only in the body," he muttered to himself. "It's in the heart and in hope." By evening, the crutch was ready. It was unlike anything the Varians had ever seen. Lightweight supports ran along Reelan's legs, attached with flexible straps. Small micromotors helped to lift his weight, and sensors adjusted the device as he moved. The bottom extended into a tripod shape for stability. Ryland stared at it in wonder. Will it really work?" Alishan nodded. "Try it." Reelan's small hands shook as he placed his legs inside the crutch. A soft hum filled the air as the motors powered on. He took one tentative step, then another. His eyes widened. He laughed. I'm walking." He ran a few steps, nearly toppling, but the crutch stabilized him. "I can run. I can run," he shouted, spinning around. His laughter rang through the marketplace. Alishan's heart swelled. "Yes, you're doing it. You're strong in ways they don't see." The Varians around them were stunned. Many whispered in disbelief. For centuries, they had believed weakness must be hidden, and yet here was a human showing a child how to rise above it. From the shadows, a figure watched. Tall, imposing, and dressed in dark robes, his skin shimmered like molten glass. Admiral Thar, a high-ranking officer in the Emperor's Guard, observed silently. He took out a communicator. "Report to the palace. A human is aiding a weakling." It cannot go unnoticed. Alishan was unaware of the officer. He adjusted the crutch, making tiny improvements to the motors. Ryland ran in small circles, shouting and laughing, but then a deep hum filled the air. The ground beneath the marketplace vibrated slightly. A massive hovercar descended slowly from the violet sky, landing gracefully in the square. Its polished surface reflected the light of the twin suns. From it emerged Emperor Kael'thar, the ruler of Varian 5. His robes were golden and flowing, and his presence made even the bravest Varians bow instinctively. His eyes, glowing faintly, fixed on Alishan and the boy. "What is happening here?" His voice rang across the square. Alishan stood calmly. "Your Majesty, this child cannot walk properly. I built a device to help him." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "You, a human, interfere with the natural order of my people. This child is weak. Weakness is dishonorable." You have shown him a way to cheat his limitations. Alishan swallowed but held his ground. I did not intend to dishonor your people. I only wanted to help. Humans believe that everyone can grow stronger no matter the limit. The Emperor's gaze sharpened. You have crossed a line. You will come with me and answer for this action. Ryland stepped forward. No, Your Majesty. He helped me. I can walk because of him. The Emperor looked down at the boy, then back at Alishan. You dare to speak? Yes, Alishan said firmly. I dare. True strength is not only in body or tradition. It is in courage, hope, and the will to rise above challenges. This child is strong because he does not give up. A tense silence fell over the square. The Varians held their breath. Some, for the first time, felt wonder instead of fear. The Emperor's eyes narrowed even further. You are brave. Perhaps foolishly so. But bravery does not excuse disobedience. Guards! Ryland's eyes filled with fear. Alishan stepped in front of him. I will go, he said. But know this, Your Majesty. Hope is stronger than fear, and one act of kindness can shake even an empire. The guards moved forward. Ryland clutched his new crutch, looking at Alishan. Will I see you again? Alishan gave a reassuring smile. Yes, Ryland, keep walking. Keep believing. As the guards led him away, Alishan's mind raced. He knew the Emperor's judgment could be harsh, but he also knew that he could not abandon the boy. Hope had been planted, and hope could grow into something far stronger than fear. Above, the violet skies of Varion 5 stretched endlessly. A human had dared to help an alien child, and that small act of kindness had already begun to shake the foundations of an empire.